Good morning, Papa Bruce here. You found me at our campsite in the Bitterroot National Forest, where we're campground hosts for the summer. We're in western Montana. We're right near the Bitterroot Subway Wilderness, and we're going to be able to make some nice trips into that area also. But that's another subject. Right now, I need to talk to you about low-cost backpacking items. What I've been able to find and purchase online, yard sales, etc. The first I'm going to talk about is our pack. This pack is an REI Flash 52. It's actually a women's pack. It's 52 liters, and it's about all I want to have, all I want to carry. I found this pack online on Craigslist for $20. The fellow who had it used it himself, and he wanted to get into a bigger one. Well, I don't want to carry any more than this holds. It works out quite well. Anyway, and it comes into slightly over 3 pounds, so it's certainly not an ultralight pack, but it's not heavy either. And it's worked out very, very well for me. I use this pack on my hike on the Dutchman Trail 104, if you've noticed that video down below, in the desert of Arizona, and on a number of other hikes actually, and it's been a great little pack. So REI Flash 52, $20. Now, the next thing we need to talk about would be, well, let's look at the shelter. We know our pack. The shelter that I'm going to talk about today is called a TechSport Camouflage Tent Trail, 7 foot by 4.5 foot with a 38-foot height. This thing is certainly a cheapie. You find it at your discount stores. It's got super heavy poles in it, which I threw away, incredibly heavy pegs, which I threw away, and this sack that it comes in is pretty much useless, and I'd never use it on the trail, but it's a place to keep the tent. When I use this tent, I use my trekking poles to hold it up, and the darn thing is so roomy. It's like a palace to me, and it'll easily sleep two adults, or myself and a couple of my junior ranger grandkids. But in any event, this tent, I'm happy with it. We'll take a few minutes here and set it up, but after we talk about some of these other items, so you can get a better look at it. I did feature this tent as one of the items in my first video, where I talk about backpacking for seniors, and where we talk about the 3 or the 4 things that I try to concentrate on, and that's going slow, going light, be comfortable, bring some comfortable items, and what this video is all about, being economical, because so many of us seniors are on a budget. Anyhow, I bought this at a yard sale last summer, was able to use it in the winter, as I said, in the desert. I paid $5 for it. It's been a great little tent, $5. So we've got the pack so far at $25 for the tent. And now I'll show you my sleep system, which I think is the best buy I've run across so far. And that is my sleeping bag. My little cost sleeping bag is part of the military sleep system. I believe they call it the MMS. Don't know why. But anyway, this is the green patrol bag, which is part of it. Alone, I think it would probably, I'm comfortable at 45, 50 degrees, where I've used it nights in the desert, with a pad. But I don't know what it's filled with. It probably says here, but feels like a down of some kind. But it's just that really, really comfortable. It's got a full-length zipper and a heavy-duty zipper at that. So often I've zipped it all the way open and just used it as a quilt, particularly when I'm camping in my hammock. So this was a just an incredible buy. Oh, the tag's still in here. I never even took this out, even though I've used it a number of times. And this was found in the thrift store. I found it back where the blankets and comforters and things like that were. And $4. $4. Now, to complete that sleep system, I also picked up a closed sail pad. This thing, I haven't measured it, and I think it's about 6 foot long. It's a nice pad. It's about ½ an inch thick. Frankly, I've used this pad more often in my hammock than I have on the ground. I prefer an inflatable pad, but this pad was $5. So, the big three, my pack, my shelter, and my sleep system, come in under $35. And that's pretty darn good. Anybody can find this stuff if you just look for it. Again, Craigslist, Follow Up, Let Go, yard sales. If I see a tent in a yard sale, I have a heck of a time going by. Even if I'm not interested in the tent, I know they might have other camping equipment that would be useful. And if I pick up something like this $5 tent and it doesn't work, I'm not happy with it, well, I'm a campground host. I'll give it to a camper. Those are the major items I wanted to cover, but I also will mention a few other things that of course would be necessary, and that's your kitchen. This kitchen I put together has a pot, a pretty good sized pot, and lid for it, as you can see, and also a little kettle. And these all together, I really frankly can't remember, but I know it was less than $5 at I think a Goodwill store. And I've used these for a long time now, and over open fire, whatever. Nice little system. And also, to use it, I have made an alcohol stove. I've made several alcohol stoves actually, but this one works quite well. I followed plans that I found on a channel called Intensive Angler, John. John has all sorts of good videos about DIY equipment. He makes everything. Anyhow, I made this little alcohol stove and another can here as a wood screen, and this costs nothing. It works well. And if you don't want to carry alcohol or any other kind of fuel, I like to use this when I'm here, well, pretty much everywhere. I've used this in the desert. I've used this here in the wilderness area in Montana. It's a little wood burning stove with a couple of cans you put together, and then a little top for the to put your pot on. This just burns on twigs, and you just keep pushing them in, and I tell you what, it works really well. I really enjoy using it just because of the novelty of it. The downside is that you are using wood burning stove wood, and so it does create quite a mess with the black soot that gets on the pad. I made myself a little case for it to keep that out of all the rest of my gear, out of an old sock. But again, wood burning stove, no cost at all. Now, we have pretty much everything we need for our shelter, our sleep system here, our pack. If I was using this and I was heading in to the mountains for a few days, obviously I would have to add a few things: my ditty bag, my comfort, my toiletries, that type of thing. Also, I would bring my small first aid kit. I would also bring my bear spray. And when we're getting ready to actually go on a trip, I'll do a gear haul out and show you what I take when I head up into the mountains for 3 or 4 days. But this is an example. These items are examples of quite inexpensive things that you can find online. So I hope you've gotten some good ideas. If you have any questions, please put them down here in the bottom, the comment section. I'd be glad to do a Q&A video on on ideas or comments or questions you might have about this. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel, Papa Bruce Hiking, and maybe I'll see you on the trail. Keep hiking.